Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel Intuitive Tarot Empath. This is your general reading for May 2017. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a quick thank you for all of your likes, views, subscriptions, comments. Your support in this first month of me doing this channel has been really awesome and amazing, so thank you so much for all of the support that you've been dishing out. So with that said, this is your general reading for May 2017. In the event that this does or does not resonate with you, go ahead and take a look at your sun, moon, and or rising signs, because that video might resonate with you more, or if this video resonates with you, those videos might give you some more insight as to your current goings on. So with that said, I'm going to shuffle the cards and see what's up for you for the month of May 2017. If you don't want to watch me shuffle, you can go right on ahead and fast forward through it. But here we go. So, Taurus. What's happening for Taurus in May 2017? What's happening for Taurus? May 2017. Love, work, home, relationships, child. I think like two more should do the trick. Okay. Alright, so let's see, Taurus. Let's do the bottom one. Alright, so we have the Ten of Swords, the King of Swords in reverse, the Five of Wands, which would make sense, the Knight of Cups, the Three of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Cups, I like that, the Sun, the Knight of Swords, a lot of swords, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Wands. Alright, so on the bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Cups. So something has been weighing on you heavily, emotionally and mentally. Let's put this together. But whatever mental and emotional energy you've had to, hold on, let me move this so that you can see these cards a little bit better. Not that you can see them so well because my camera is terrible. You have had to expend a lot of emotional and mental energy on something that you're extremely passionate about. Might have to do with work. Because of all the cups, I'm going to say that it probably has to do with a relationship. And coming to a point where you're just saying, I've had enough. This is too much for me. Too much like fighting and waiting. Okay, so let me show you these cards as we go. So I want to say, Taurus, that the energy around this reading is about you giving your emotional and mental energy to something. And because underneath, sorry, I'm like, so we have here the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups. So it's like perhaps you giving your emotional energy to something that isn't filling you the way it should be in return. And it's kind of like keeping you up at night and is keeping you anxious. The Nine of Swords is the card of anxiety. You see that guy awake and he's got all the swords stuck in the wall. It could even be over a breakup, because this came up for another reading too. I don't know what's going on with the earth signs and like bonus people in your relationships this month, but like it could be that you are experiencing heartbreak. Either the person that you were in a relationship with left you for someone else, or you had to decide to leave them. But I feel like there was a breakup of some sort, or like deciding that what you were in wasn't working for you anymore. Because here you are giving your energy, giving your energy, giving your energy, wanting stability as Taurus's, sorry, Tauri have a tendency to do, because they're very like grounded and based in the home. They want stability, but feeling like you're not necessarily getting back what you're putting out, especially emotionally, and that weighing on you very heavily mentally. So let's see. So we start off with your present situation being the Ten of Swords crossed by the King of Swords in reverse. So swords are all about mental energy. They're about the way that you communicate. They're about, writing, mostly like mental communicative energies. So I think that you're coming into a place where you're just done. Like the person that you are dealing with that is making you so anxious, and who you're giving to, but and they're taking, and they're not giving anything to you in return except for anxiety and worry and negativity, and making you feel as though like there's no more spots in your body to stick another sword in. I think that you are currently feeling like there's nowhere left for this to go with this person, because they're not giving you what you need. And you're starting to see that in the background, the sun's starting to come up, and you're seeing that there's a possibility for a more positive life for you to live without necessarily this person in it. But I think that it's hard for you to make that decision. I think that you're right on the precipice of deciding what you want to do about this situation, but it's difficult because when you love someone and you've been giving your energy to them, the Queen of Cups here is looking into the past. Sometimes we look at the past situations that we've been in with someone, and we have a tendency to like hold on to those emotions and think that we can recreate them with this person in the hopes that it'll make our relationship better. But I think that you're in a place right now where it's kind of a slow, you're slow coming to this decision. Like it's coming up in little pieces. Maybe it's, you're driving in your car on your way to somewhere, and you have a thought of like, I could be happier on my own, or I could be happier with someone else, or I could be happier out of this relationship. But I think that you haven't quite come to that decision yet. I think that you're right on the precipice of it, because we have the Nine of Swords underneath the Ten of Cups. We also have the Ten of Swords. So you're like, if you have not come to that decision yet, you are right on the cliff of jumping. That doesn't make any sense. You're right about to jump off the cliff to make the decision, because you know that this doesn't serve you anymore. And so it's like, here's the King of Swords, emotionally mature, communicatively mature, able to, communicate thoughts and feelings in a way that's clear and concise, and is also able to think logically about things without, having emotion cloud the judgment or clouding the things that you're thinking about. But it's in reverse because you're still not quite there yet. So it's like still needing to think a little bit more about, is this worth leaving? However, if I do leave it, I know that there's happiness on the other side of it. Like you can feel the happiness, and that's what's kind of like pushing you, but you're still not quite there yet. So I think that in the past, this person who has been causing you issues, and it could even be that you're invested in something with an air sign. It could be like this could, in a work reading, this could be your boss. In a love reading, this could be your significant other, somebody who's kind of, domineering, or who, like if you're a Queen of Swords energy, you're loving, you're nurturing, you're giving. If you're a King of Swords, if you're a Queen of Cups energy, you're nurturing and loving and giving, all that watery kind of energy. But if you're in it with a King of Cups energy, or if you're in it with, this could also be that you're invested in something with an air sign, so Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. You know, there's a lot of air sign energy here, so it could be that you are in it with someone who exhibits the qualities that are like kind of this domineering presence, who's like very logical. And so if you're one of those people who speaks from a place of emotion and you're saying, you know, I love you, I don't understand why you're acting like this, like we can make this work, and this person's like, nothing's wrong, it's fine, you're the one who's making all the issues, and then we have a problem. And so I think that this person has caused a lot of conflict. I think that there's been a lot of conflicts with this person, whether it's a boss or a partner, or it could be a friendship, could be a business relationship, but it's someone who you're tied to emotionally. And it's something, wands are all about passion. So it's something that you're very passionate about. So it could be that you and this person are just fighting, or in the past have been fighting all the time. Just about ideas, the way of making things work. So you have one way of wanting to do things, they have another way of wanting to do things, and the two ways kind of conflict. And this could also, because there is the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. I'm so sorry, I have a migraine today, so I'm a little like blah, 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 blah. Because you have those two cards, this person is causing you turmoil. And so this could even represent the inner turmoil that this person is creating for you, that you've kind of had to fight with yourself. And so there's been like a lot of energy. You'll notice that all those men are, you know, using the wands kind of as swords. But what's interesting is that you've come to a place where you've stopped fighting, you've disconnected all the swords, you've kind of untangled everything, and now you're really thinking about what it is that you want to put out into the world. If you haven't quite put it out into the world yet, you're in the process of thinking about all of the things that you want, because the 3 of Wands is a card about manifesting your endeavors and manifesting your dreams, and then putting that energy out into the world and kind of watching it as it comes back to you. You know, reaping the seeds of your crops, so to speak. So like, you know, whatever you put out there, you're kind of waiting for it to come back. This could also be, if you're in a relationship, this could represent, and because the 3 of Swords came up as well, this could represent that the issues that a person was creating for you, or the conflict, came around the fact that you were with somebody who was not faithful. And so, because we have the 3 here, so it could be like a bonus person. Or in another story, it could be that you were fighting with this air sign energy so much that you went out into the world and you met someone else, and that created a peacefulness for you. But there's a peacefulness to this card, and it's about, like, I almost get the sense that it was like there was so much conflict, and then you had a moment where you were like, stop, wait, I'm not doing this with you anymore, and you kind of stood still. And that created this energy of like, I think I'm done. Like, I think I'm done. I'm done fighting with you. Like, you are too much for me. Like, I think it's interesting that the King of Swords is also, he's not looking to the past. He's not looking to the future. He's in this moment right now. So it's like kind of the King of Swords has a stagnant energy of like, I'm going to be here, I'm doing this, this is the way I see things, this is the way I do things, and like, if you don't like it, tough. And from this card, I'm getting this very, very peaceful energy where you have decided, you know what, enough, like enough. I need to think about everything that's been going on, and I need to consider if this is what works for me, because it's not working for me, and I am, you know, I'm done. I'm really done, but like, do I want to move away from this? So I think that you're thinking a lot right now about, does this work for me? Should I move away from this? And I think that the answer is yeah, you should. It's going to be slow moving because the Knight of Cups energy is slow moving. But the Knight of Cups is in the upright position, and he's moving toward the future. And in the future, you have the Ten of Cups, which is a beautiful, beautiful energy. So if you move out of this, it's going to be slow going because it's going to take you a minute to get your bearings and kind of make the pro-con list and decide if walking away from this relationship with this person, whether it's walking away from a job, walking away from a partner, walking away from a friendship. Well, it could even be parent relationship, that you're having issues with a parent right now. That you're ultimately, after a period of time of intense thought and reflection, are going to walk away from it, and you're going to walk slowly into the future. Because anytime you experience pain and heartbreak and depression and sadness as brought about by a breakup, it takes a little time to realize that, like, you will be okay and you're going to be happy and things are going to be fine. And the ways that the cards are coming out, I think it's interesting. So I actually like to lay them out like this. Not that you can see it very clearly, but so we have the Knight of Cups energy, this kind of slow moving energy, but it's filled with love and offering. And so what's nice is that you, as the Queen of Cups, are eventually, you're going to stop looking at the past and you're going to start looking toward the future. And I think that you're going to realize that the future has so much more brightness to it than the past did, that it's worth moving toward. So what you're moving toward is this. You're moving toward your happily ever after. So if you move away from this relationship, if you move away from this partnership that's not serving you anymore and is only serving to cause sadness and grief and anxiety in your life, the things that you're going to find once you walk away from it are going to be plentiful. So much happiness. If it's a breakup, you're going to find a new partner, a new significant other. If it's a job situation, they're, finding a new job, finding a position that makes you happy and fulfilled. And it's also telling you that you're walking into new possibilities and new promise for brighter things. And I think it's very interesting that you have the Ten of Swords in your current situation, and your future situation is the Ten of Cups. So I think that it's always worth moving away from the sadness in order to get your happily ever after. You deserve that, Taurus. Nobody deserves to be beaten down. All of these cards, the current situation cards, almost seem like you've been really beaten up. You don't deserve that kind of treatment. You don't deserve to be with somebody or employed by somebody or in a relationship with somebody or in a friendship with somebody who wants to fight with you all the time because they don't want to compromise with the way that you see the world. So moving out of this means moving toward happiness and moving toward the happily ever after. And what's so great is that I love that card. That's my favorite card. It's all the things that you possibly want that you didn't think that you could have, because this person made you feel as though the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. I hate that saying. People used to say it to me all the time. You know what? It's nonsense. Sometimes you need to take the risk and you need to take the leap and you need to move out of your comfort zone, because it means giving yourself the opportunity to find the things that fulfill you. Don't stagnate. Don't sit in a place where you're giving away your energy to somebody who doesn't deserve it. What's so great, once again, is that you have the Ten of Swords here, this ending of things, this conclusion, this, I'm done. And you notice that in the background of the Ten of Swords card, the sun is coming up. Because here's the sun. Here is the sun. So it's all about, a new day, the dawning of a new day. You're coming into a beautiful period of time. So that's extraordinarily exciting, that you will be able to manifest the things that you want, that you will be able to, bask in the positivity that's coming your way. So once again, it could be new jobs, it could be new relationships, it could be new friendships, it could be just walking away from something and having all the positive energy that comes with being free of that negative energy. And once you make the decision, like once you start moving, it might be slow to get out of it, but like once you're out, you're off and running. So here you have the Knight of Swords. So it's like this person who exhibited swords energy over you in like a reversed position, like a coldness, a callousness, this like using logic against the emotional nature that you're throwing at a situation, you're going to have swords energy, which will be beneficial to you because it means that you're off and running. So you'll be looking for things. You'll be communicating clearly. You will be, things will start to happen so much quicker. It's almost like being in this situation with this person is bogging you down. It's like weighing you down. All those swords in your back are like so heavy, but now there's nothing holding you back. And so you are just off, done. Like you're moving so fast that there's fire under your horse's feet. Like you cannot be stopped. So it means that potentially, once you're out of this, finding that things are going to start to happen for you very, very quickly. So like, you might apply for a job and find that you're hearing back from them very, very like within a week, or, timing on these things is always very precarious, but you'll find that opportunities will start opening up for you in a way that's like very fast moving. And like, you'll be putting yourself out there and things will be coming back to you in a way that you're like, holy shit, really? Like, I just did that yesterday, or I just did that a week ago, or like, I looked at that apartment a week ago and now I'm signing the lease 7 days later, that kind of thing. Like things are happening really fast and you're the creator of that energy because there's nothing bogging you down. The Knight of Swords is looking at the past, and I think that that's also kind of your way of getting over all of the anxiety that's been plaguing you for the duration of your relationship with this person who's been such a conflicting energy in your life. I think the fear, the thing that keeps you slowed down, the thing that stops you from leaving a situation that doesn't work for you anymore, is the feeling that you're not going to be okay on your own, that you're not going to be as emotionally fulfilled as you are with this person in your life, and that you're not going to be able to kind of create your own emotional balance and your own emotional stability. But Taurus, there's no reason to stay in this. This person is not helping you. This person, it's almost like when you love someone so much or you are too scared to leave, you put blinders on. And so you say to yourself, I'm not going to leave because I don't want to, I'm happy here. I'm comfortable here. And I don't think I'm going to be okay on my own. Like, I'd rather be with this person than have to face the world on my own, unknowing of what's going to come my way. But here's the thing, is that you're going to be okay. This is just a fear, and it's the fear of being alone, and the fear of you being alone and not being able to be okay emotionally. It's like I'm staying with this person because I'm afraid that if we break up, I'm going to be sad. And you know what, Taurus? You will be sad, and it's going to suck for a little while. And you might even look at the past, and you might even look at all the things that the two of you had together, and it might even, keep you up at night crying, and it might even break your heart a little bit. But at the end of the day, what you have on the other side of all of this is you're happily ever after. You have all of this good energy coming your way. It's not like breakup sadness or sadness over leaving something or breaking a tie with someone never lasts. You might think it's going to, and you might think that it's going to kill you. I promise you it will not. And I think that for the outcome of all of this is either you or someone who's going to come into your life. So I think that from leaving this situation that does not serve you anymore, you're either going to meet somebody who embodies a King of Wands energy, somebody who's passionate, somebody who's caring, somebody who is emotionally mature, somebody who is mentally mature, somebody who wants the things with you that you also want. It could be that you're also embodying this energy. So this feeling of like, I've risen above all of the nonsense and I'm, you know, I'm good on my own. But it's interesting that he's looking at the past. I think that the past is still going to be a thing that weighs on your mind because this past is heavy. Like whatever you have with this person currently is going to be, it is heavy. It's heavy, heavy stuff. It's emotionally heavy stuff. It's mentally heavy stuff. So I think that you're going to get to a place where you're looking back on the past and thinking, I can't believe that I held on to that for as long as I did because I am so much better on my own. And you'll notice also that we have the Three of Wands in reverse. We have that guy holding on to one of the wands. And I think that this is you, you know, this is you making a choice. This is you choosing to walk away from it and saying to yourself, I can't believe that I held on to that for as long as I did. And, you know, I'm holding on to happiness now because that's what I deserve. And so looking back on the past and kind of feeling like, whew, like relief. So once again, this all kind of will happen throughout, like look for it to happen throughout April and May. By the end of May, these energies should be kind of working themselves out, and even through like the first 2 weeks of June or so. So let's see about this stuff. All right, so let's see, which card should we clarify? I want to clarify that 10 of Swords. I want to see what that's about. Like, what's the conflict that you've been... Ooh, that one's... Okay, so I need to tell you another thing that these cards say. And I saw it as soon as the Sun card came up, but I wasn't sure if I should say anything. And then I thought about saying it, and then I stopped myself from saying it, and then I forgot I was going to say it. So, okay. So the 10 of Swords, what's the conflict? So I'm just going to shuffle this Lenormand deck. I like to shuffle until the cards kind of flip out. All right, so, and once again, there is a level of free will in all of this. So you could decide to stay in this relationship, and this could, you know, it's up to you. But there's a new beginning on the horizon. But also these cards speak of possibly the conflict that you're having with your significant other is over, like, trying to have a baby. Because the Sun card is just like the Empress. It's a card of pregnancy. It's a card of children. And I don't know, like like if you're trying to get pregnant or if you're trying to adopt a baby or if you're having trouble with that, like that could be something that has caused a rift in your relationship. It's been causing fights. It's been causing conflicts. Perhaps you're getting to a point, you know, that you're like, this even kind of reminds me of the Empress card, holding something that you're trying to gestate. So it's like this possibility in your hands, but all of the 10s and also all of the 3s suggest that maybe there hasn't been much luck in trying to, in making this happen. And so one of you has been getting, not necessarily, one of you has been very emotional about it and one of you has been very logical about it. And perhaps one of you has been very kind of not watery, but like one of you has been depressed about it and the other person has been angry. And so those two emotions, you know, conflict because the sad person needs the angry person to understand where they're coming from. And the angry person needs the sad person. Like the two energies just aren't meeting. It's funny because I think that you're going to keep, the way that I read that storyline with this, I'm sorry to call it a storyline, but with the baby situation, it's that you'll try again. And I think this time, that's what the Knight of Cups is. The Knight of Cups is, okay, we're going to try again. you know, I'm putting it out there. I'm putting my intentions out there. I want this, you know, I want this new baby in our lives. So let me put the intentions out there and see what comes back. And that's why you get the 10 of Cups card, the happily ever after, the kids, family, you know, the kids, family, happily ever after card. And I think that, you know, once you find out that this is happening, everything is going to move very, very quickly. And I think that your fear is that it hasn't happened in the past. Why would I be lucky enough for it to happen now? And I think that at the end of it all, you know, you're going to have that moment of like, yeah, boss, like it all worked out. I can't believe I didn't think it was going to. I've been burned so many times before. You know, that kind of energy of keeping manifest the things that you're passionate about, and the thing being potentially a child. And I say that also because, okay, so I'm going to shuffle these one last time because the cards are not flipping out. Literally one card flipped out and was like, yo, why are you not talking about this? You said you were going to talk about this. I want you to talk about this. So okay, one more shuffle. So the card that flipped out for the 10 of Swords, hold on, one more little baby shuffle. So the card that flipped out for the 10 of Swords was the Child card. So the Child card can mean one of two things. It can either mean a child is on its way, or it could mean the conflict that you are currently feeling anxious about is a child, or it could mean a new beginning. So you have the possibility of a new beginning or the possibility of a child, happy home life on your hands. Okay, so so the conflict, the 10 of Swords conflict has to do with, we have the Child card, which I just explained to you. So the idea of either a child being brought into the world and difficulties surrounding that, or a new beginning. And then we have the flowers, which are a gift. So perhaps you were pregnant or there was adoption on the table, but then things didn't happen the way that you thought they would. And so, you know, that things didn't happen the way you thought they would. You received a message telling you that things, you know, weren't necessarily going to work out the way you wanted them to, and that led you to that 10 of Cups. The other possible situation is that the 10 of Cups led you to the 10 of Swords. Ugh, migraines. The 10 of Swords also is telling you that on the opposite end of the 10 of Swords, regardless of if it's not a pregnancy situation or an adoption situation or anything to do with a child, it's just that there's a new beginning on the horizon for you, and you're going to get back your childlike energy. So perhaps it's even that, like, you have this kind of childish, playful energy, and this King of Swords in reverse energy is kind of cutting that off. And so it's like you almost feel like you can't be yourself anymore. I want to say that the 10 of Swords energy is also about, like, giving you the gift of an ending. And, you know, if you were to end this with this person who's not treating you the way they should, that it's going to be a gift. It's going to be a positive energy surrounding you, a positive gift of new beginnings. And it could also be, like, if there was a third person in this situation, and that's the conflict that you guys are having, it could be that the gift and the letter could be that perhaps you found out through, like, I'm just getting the feeling that if there is a third person, perhaps there was like a gift left around, or a message, like you found a text message on the person's cell phone. Just something about communication. Like there was a lot of communication going on, and you found out, you figured it out, and now are deciding what you're going to do about it. the other possibility is that, you know, the Ten of Swords is all about like, I'm gonna end this, I'm done, like you can't stick another fucking sword in me, I'm over it. But this person comes back and apologizes. Perhaps this person apologizes with gifts. Perhaps this person communicates, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to treat you this way. And then all of a sudden you're embarking on this brand new, everything's new again. And so it keeps you coming back. And that's the conflict that you're having within yourself, is that like, I don't know what to do about this. I love this person. They don't treat me well, but you know, I can't seem to leave them. All right. So the final card is from the Guardian Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue. I feel like I said this in the last month. I love the, oh, okay. So here we go. I love the advice on these cards. I think it's actually, I use these for myself when I'm like, how do I need to attack today? So here we have inner strength. So I'm going to read what it says on the bottom of the card. So you have great courage and kindness. You may not realize how strong and powerful you are, but there's no problem you can't solve. The compassion you so freely give to others must also be given to yourself. Stand strong in your convictions if the right answer to tell someone is no. Ha! What have we been talking about this whole time, Taurus? Come on. Come on. So there's a little book that comes along with it, so I'm going to read the message in the little book. So you've been blessed with the depth of heart and kindness to accomplish anything. That's your Queen of Cups energy. There's no challenge you cannot overcome. You may not realize how strong you are, but heaven knows that you possess the gift of gentle strength. So this feeling of like, what if I'm not okay on my own? Boys and girls, you will be. The gift of gentle strength. Your spiritual nature will always win over other people's negativity. There's no need for you to back down from your convictions, although it may be necessary to say no to others in order to be kind to yourself. Just relay the information in a compassionate way and all will be well. It isn't enough to be gentle with others, you must also be gentle with yourself. So additional meanings of this card: forgiving and forgetting, empowerment that comes through self-love, personal courage, and tolerance of others. All right, so I think that you have a pretty good month ahead of you, filled with some really positive stuff, really positive energy. I'm super excited for you, Taurus. This is a great reading. You're going to make a lot of decisions that are going to lead to some very positive things that you could have only dreamed of. So with that said, that's your general reading for May 2017. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great month. I'll see you in June. Bye.